Hey guys, Devin Ridley, All Father Fitness, and today I got a new video lined up, and that video is kind of a part two of a video I made yesterday because of a video I watched by a YouTuber called Jeff Nippard, and I'll link his channel up in the corner and down in the description of that video, as well as his channel. But his video was basically how to build muscle as fast as possible after this quarantine. Now, if people that watch my videos consistently, they know I made a video about how to kind of boost your ability to gain all your muscle back, and it was based on nuclei overload training combined with muscle memory, and both of the theories kind of combined and made it to where you had a very huge spark of muscle growth when you started training again. So I will also link that up and down in the description. But this video will kind of go in. This video will kind of go more in depth about how to put on that muscle and how to do it as quick as possible and optimally, really. Now, there's a bunch of things we're going to talk about, but the three main things we're going to talk about is obviously muscle and hypertrophy, recovery, and strength. Now, obviously, we want to put muscle on as fast as possible. Now, when you think how to put muscle on as fast as possible, you think, oh, I'm just going to go to the gym and do exactly what I was doing. Lift as hard as possible, do all my compound movements, as much volume, as much intensity, blah, 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 and it'll just work like that. Now, it is true that that will build muscle very quickly, except for the fact that a lot of people don't take in time to consider recovery. And when you stop training for a long period of time and start training again and you go back to how you were training, it's going to be extremely hard for you to recover from that. And it's actually going to slow you down, as well as when you hit a certain level of soreness, your recovery time is so long and takes so much energy from you that you actually lose gains from it instead of just the optimal level. Now, how would you boost this recovery? And that is eating more protein and just more food overall will boost your recovery very quickly, because the more food, not exactly the more food, but the more healthy food at least, you can boost your testosterone. And the more protein, the more and faster muscle will build. And that's just kind of obvious. Now, besides that, you have to take in kind of some of the nitty gritty stuff people don't really think about, and those things are your training split. Now, if you already do a push pull legs, I'm sure you know, or a upper lower split, I would rather I would program and recommend a push pull legs over an upper lower. Upper lower is just a little bit too frequent if you do it 6 days instead of just 4 days. So if you do upper lower, rest, upper lower, then it'd be good. But if you do upper lower, upper lower, upper lower, that's just, I think that's a little bit too much for your body to handle. So a push pull legs would be really good, except do your push day after your pull day. So do your pull, push, legs, and that is because on a pull day, you're going to be doing things with your back, such as rows and pull downs and pull overs and all types of stuff that will use your lower back a lot and your lats. And when you go to your leg day, a lot of people do their deadlifts on their leg day. They either pick a squat for leg day 1 and then a deadlift for leg day 2, or they do both. And having your back be sore before doing something like a deadlift, especially after this quarantine, not having super high recovery, muscle density, and just overall experience. You still have your experience, but your ability to work like you did before is probably not the same. So you don't want to get injured, because that would definitely not boost your recovery or your ability to gain all your muscle back, right? So really take into consideration your recovery time. Like I said, eat more protein, think about your program, think about workouts, how you're going to do them, in what specific order, how fast you're recovering. You gotta kind of trial and error with that. But I think a push pull legs, but have the pull be on Monday, push be on Tuesday, legs be on Wednesday. I think I said those days backwards or wrong. You know what I mean? Push, pull, legs. You just do the push before the pull, right? Pull, push, legs. There we go. Pull, push, legs. Pull, push, legs. 6-day split. Very simple and easy. You should be recovering fast enough in between those things. And if you aren't, this is where the next thing we're going to talk about comes in handy. Strength. Now, building muscle takes a lot more time than building your strength back. The building your muscle, it depends upon a lot of things, such as how you're training, how frequent, how much you're eating, your already training experience, certain things like your myonuclei count, your satellite cell count, a bunch of stuff goes into it. But with strength, muscle and strength aren't really the same thing. They are a tiny bit correlated, but not linearly coordinated. So it's not your muscle and your strength follow each other, because if it was that way, Chris Bumstead, the current Olympia champion, would be the strongest man alive, but he's not, right? Thor Bjornsson and Eddie Hall are back and forth between who's the strongest man alive, right? But they don't have more muscle mass than somebody like Chris Bumstead or Ronnie Coleman or Arnold, right? So strength is not correlated to muscle. You got to kind of get that out of your head. Now, gaining strength is a lot quicker than gaining muscle, because when you build strength, it's building your tendons and your ligaments up, and it's boosting things like your articular cartilage, your meniscus, and your knees, and it's basically thickening all those things so you can handle more stress and your bones get denser, and that stuff doesn't go away. It takes way longer for that to go away than muscle. So building your strength back is way, way faster than building your muscle. So if you keep that in mind and you build all your strength before you build all your muscle back, you'll be able to lift the same amount of weight as you were lifting before, therefore increasing your ability to already jump the progressive overload part. You just already are at where you started, and you just have to build the muscle. So you can not only get right back to your maxes on all your compounds, but you can also start to already build on them when you're not even as big. So when you do get as big, your maxes will absolutely jump up. It'll be like a huge plateau that you were on before this quarantine, and after it just shot up like straight 90-degree up. So I think that people need to really consider things like that, like your recovery, and doing this, implementing how you use your strength training into your hypertrophy training beforehand, so you can kind of adapt your body to where when you go and do your hypertrophy training, it's already practically very easy for you, and you get to skip a whole portion, which is the building your maxes up or building your muscle up. You just get to kind of skip that portion because you get back to where you were, right? So you really do have to trial and error with this. No matter how much I tell you or how much I explain to you, you're gonna have to trial and error with it. It's different for every single person, but you have to find a kind of point where your hypertrophy and your recovery is stable, because your hypertrophy can be way up here, but your recovery is going to be way, way down here. So your adaptation level, like how it works is, the more hypertrophy you have, it's the more breakdown in your muscles, and the faster your recovery, the faster the muscle builds, and then you adapt to lifting more weight, which is progressive overload. And that's how muscle and strength is built, through progressive overload and adaptation through your joints and muscles and tendons and ligaments and all that good stuff. So you have to find a level where they're both equal, your hypertrophy and your recovery. But people don't consider the strength, so you can have your strength be way up here while your hypertrophy and your recovery are still at the same level. And then you could boost your strength, which boosts your adaptation level, because you're already skipping making your tendons and your joints stronger and all that, because they already are. So you just get to skip that whole portion. You get all your strength back, which is nice, because I think everyone wants to get back in the gym and hit their maxes again. I know I want to. I want to go in right away, see what I can deadlift. That's probably not smart, and that's what this video is about. You have to be smart with this, because you can get injured, and you want to be as fast as possible in getting your gains and your strength back. That's really all I got for this video. I would definitely recommend watching Jeff Nippard's video. We had a little bit difference of opinion on things like intensity and volume. He wanted to keep your volume really high, keep your intensity really low. He tends to train like that a lot if you watch any of his other stuff. I myself find a balance between volume and intensity. I also would put intensity over volume, really. In some cases, it kind of depends on which exercises and dependent upon what my split is and how I'm really feeling, kind of. Because for people that know, my split is a push-pull legs, but I kind of listen to how my body is. I don't have a set weight, reps, and sets. I have like a minimum and a maximum, and I just kind of fit in between whatever I can within the day, depending on how I feel that particular day and what day the split is, right? So his is a little bit different. I would recommend watching his and kind of seeing what his opinion is, what my opinion is, and just basing it off what you want to do and go and trial and error with it, see what you like more. And that's really all I got for this video. First one in a while. That's been long, 10 minutes, but subscribe if you like the video, like if you like the video, comment if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll see you in the next one.